We're here at the Stanford Invite Open Semifinal, Oregon versus Tufts. I'm Ryan Thompson. This is the 2013 Skyd Ultimate College Tour presented by Spin Ultimate. The score is currently 1-0 Tufts. Tufts holding on their first O point after Dylan Freechild got a D for Oregon. Ian Campbell threw a huck too far for Gabe Fruchter, and Tufts O-line worked it back down to score to Dan Pavitt. Tufts pulling now on defense, 1-0, no breaks. Oregon receiving, disc in the middle of the field, swinging out to the sideline. Tufts here in a backhand force. Ian Campbell to Topher Davis. Topher Davis swinging out to Aaron Honn, dishing it back. Upfield to Camden Allison Hall. Swinging out to the sideline and a nice put down the line for Topher Davis. Oregon scoring easily. Tufts giving them no trouble. 1-1, still on serve. All right, Oregon pulling now behind Brian Penner. Coming down on D. Pull out of bounds. Tufts will take it at the brick. Tufts here in a vertical stack with Carter Fallon isolated. Nice scooper out to Tyler Chan. Centering to Gene Bonacorsi. Eric Shaw here with the disc as the center handler. Swinging around to Will Wong. Patient here from Tufts, back to Eric Shaw. Nice high backhand break to Mike Hagenow. Back to Shaw. Swing out to Dan Pavitt on the open side. Throws the lefty flick down the line to Tyler Chan. Hold for Tufts. 2-1. Nice throw down the line. Pavitt to Chan. And the pull from Tufts. Centering out to Trevor Smith. The field to Camden Allison Hall. Into the middle. Dropping it back to Allison Hall. Swing out to Campbell. Up the field back to Smith. Just straight forehand force here. Oh, and a drop there by Ego. Tufts D-line now with a chance to break. Nino Figliola picks up the disc. Nick Adolph dumping it to Vincenzo Vitello. Vitello, nice around break. Finding Sam Duche. Back to Vitello up line. Nice handling movement here from Tufts. And Figliola with the boost up right outside the end zone. And the dish to Robbie Perkins high for the goal. That huck was to Elias Cahan. Tufts breaking to go up 3-1. Tufts pulling up that break they just got 3-1. Strong O-line here from Oregon with Freechild and Honn both playing here. Charlie Wilson-Moses centering to Trevor Smith. Into the middle of the field for Gardner. Hitting Honn, who's being backed considerably here. Back to Wilson-Moses. Rips a backhand to Topher Davis in stride. That's a great throw there. Really not much room for error there. The guy was running out of room in the end zone. Put it right out into space where only his receiver could get it. That's a nice hold for Oregon. 3-2. Oregon now needs to break back sometime in this first half to keep it even. Oregon pulling here. Both teams have only played man defense so far. It's interesting to see which team will come out in kind of a junk or zone look first. I think they both trust their man defense pretty well. Oh, and now It's a clam here from Oregon that Tufts just really scubered over and broke through. Pavitt with the disc just outside the end zone. Centering to Shaw. Shaw with a nice break to Will Wong. Nobody cutting break side there, though. Finally, Fallon does. That's a goal for Tufts, 4-2. Really quick work of that clam from Oregon. One throw up the middle, big throw through to the break side before they could reset that first layer of handler defenders. And it's off to the races for Tufts. 4-2, still up a break. Oregon just came out with the clam. We'll see if Tufts will do anything different to slow down Ego. They got their break on just a wide open drop. Haven't really forced any kind of difficult throws from Oregon so far. Center to Trevor Smith, out to Ian Campbell. Looks like a forced middle here from Tufts. Something a little different. To Honn in the center of the field. Back to Wilson Moses. Centering to Smith. Oregon being very patient here. Just running their isolation cuts from the center cutters in the host deck. Honn swinging out to Wilson Moses. And a nice blade down the sideline to Trevor Smith. As the defender tries to come in and help on that, no chance. That throw is just placed in there really, really delicately where only Smith can get it. Nice throw by Wilson Moses. Goal for Smith, 4-3, Tufts leads. Oregon now to pull. Still down a break. They threw that clam last time and got shredded. We'll see if they can create some turnovers this time. Freechild with the pull. Deep in the center of the field. Hagenow back to receive, centering to Shaw. Back to Hagenow. Shaw being smothered on that dump defense, but Pavitt gets the outlet. Upline to Shaw, just a little too far off his hand. That's great dump defense pressure there from Oregon. Freechild to pick up about half field. Nice break around.
There we go, Yago! Stay with him, Yago! Let's go, Tyler! Stay with him, Ty! You got him, Ty!
Oregon D-line offense looking just as smooth as their O-line offense. Gabe Fruchter out to Penner. Penner in the center of the field. Oregon looking to get into their end zone set, out to Freechild. Freechild unhappy with that pick call.
Hey, lock it down, please! Carter, trust your force! Carter, trust your force!
Disc goes back to Penner. Freechild will come back here. Out to Freechild. Penner going up the line, swing around to Ian Campbell. Campbell and Freechild working it. Campbell, layout with the drop in the end zone. Calling foul on Buonacorsi with the bid.
That's great, D, Gene. That's sweet, D. That's a nice bid.
That, interestingly, not called a goal. Said he didn't fully have control of that. To Freechild. Campbell and Freechild still working it. Just throw and go. Goal to Freechild. Angry head spike back at Fallon. Oregon breaks back. Fired up. That is 4-4. Oregon breaks back on serve. Oregon pulling now with Freechild. They got that turn last time with really tight dump D, pressuring Shaw. Swing out to Will Wong. Great layout D there from number 70. Freechild running to this to pick up. Penner back as his dump. And Freechild throws an easy break back end for the goal to Topher Davis. Oregon breaks again. Great layout D on that first throw. 5-4, Oregon now up a break. Roaring back. This is the kind of defensive intensity we've come to expect from Oregon. When everything's going their way, they are fired up and they are very hard to beat. Tufts now just needs to grind, work that O down, get a few in-cuts, score their points, and get their D back on the field. Oregon is a team where that momentum shift is really huge for them. If they keep getting those Ds early in the count, Tufts is going to make it very hard on themselves to get back in the game. Also interesting for Tufts, Adrian Banerjee has not been playing this game. He was in flats for their quarterfinal game and is in cleats now, but hasn't played any points yet. Topher Davis with the pull for Oregon. Receiving is Vincenzo Vitello. Out to Eric Shaw. Up to Gene Buonacorsi, nice snag there. Just a straight forehand force here from Oregon. Back to Will Wong, the lefty. Pick call downfield. Will Wong looking for Robbie Perkins high out of this pick call. Hits him on the break side with a nice around flick. Back up to Vitello, dumping to Wong. Swinging out to Thalen. Thalen hitting Buonacorsi on the open side. Big hammer from Gene Buonacorsi. Hitting Tyler Chan in the end zone. That's a goal for Tufts. That's the kind of O point you need to have when Oregon comes out with two big momentum-changing breaks. Just grinding it on the open side, hitting the break throws when they need to, hitting the dumps when they need to, taking the pressure off of themselves by moving this at a low stall count, not letting Oregon really have an opportunity for a big play. That's a nice hammer by Buonacorsi to seal the deal and finish the point. 5-5, Oregon receiving up a break. And Tufts D-line back on the field, out to pull. We'll see if they can finally force a turn. Remember, their one break was from just a wide open drop by Ego. They haven't really put enough pressure yet on Oregon's offense. Trevor Smith out to Aaron Honn. Nice dump D here. 88 is wide open, up to Freechild. They're poaching off the handlers a little bit. Interesting choice with the hammer to Camden Allison Hall. Wilson Moses is the kind of guy who will take those shots, but that one, maybe not the right choice there, right on the end zone line. Tufts D-line with a chance to break. Have to go 70 yards, though. And a big huck up to Elias Cahan. Looking for his dumps. Freechild poaching off the dump. Hits Freechild in the leg on that throw. Easy foul, no contest.
Yeah, I know. Hey, here we go, Mom. Let's go, Mom.
Just outside the end zone here, stall 0. Tufts clustered behind the disc. They really got to clear out to the sides and give their thrower some room. Timeout called by Figliola on the end zone line. Tufts giving Tufts a chance to set their end zone offense here. Tufts offense is set here coming out of the timeout. The 6-person stack in the end zone, no dump for Figliola. Freechild on the mark. Just running end zone ISO there with the goal to Josh Adler. And that's a break back for Tufts. That dicey hammer down in the end zone. Coming back to haunt Oregon here as Tufts connects on that huck. And then the end zone offense out of the timeout. Figliola to Adler. Tufts up now 6-5. Back on serve. Tufts to pull. Their D-line getting another shot at a break. Big pull here from Perkins High. Ian Campbell to collect for Oregon. Another forced middle point here. Adler guarding Aaron Hahn. Honn hitting Camden Allison Hall. Fruchter going deep, hitting Freechild in the middle of the field. They're easily working it just down that sideline. Not really paying much attention to the force. And Fruchter with the hammer too far for Trevor Smith. Oregon with their second hammer turnover of the game. And Figliola now with the disc to look and drive the offense to break again for Tufts. Campbell on the mark with the forehand force here. Figliola looking to break. Catch here up to Adolph on the sideline, swinging it back around to Figliola. Out to Adler. Back to Figliola. Oregon looked like they had them caught on their own end zone line, but now Tufts offense is moving again. The handler motion is working for them. Figliola shooting it out to Elias Cahan for another break. He's been their target on all of these D-line points when the offense gets going. He's caught 2 hucks and then another goal right here. He's been their man downfield after the turnover. That hammer turn for Oregon is costly. Tufts goes up 7-5. Up a break now. Looking to take half with another break here. Oregon called timeout there after Tufts went on that 3-point run. At 7-5 Tufts, Oregon in the huddle. Freechild was very animated, kind of ruining the rash decisions that his O-line has been making, saying, we've been working it down the field fine. Let's stop giving them the game. Let's look for a chillier Oregon O-line here, or at least one that throws a few less hammers. Campbell collecting the pull from Tufts, centering to Smith. Up to Camden Allison Hall. Honn going deep. Hitting Trevor Smith on the upline cut. And the nice huck there to Charlie Wilson-Moses. Tufts defender closing, but can't get there. That's an easy O point for Oregon. Nothing fancy. Couple easy in cuts, and then a wide open deep look. Tufts nowhere near on any of those cuts. That's 7-6. Oregon still down a break. Looking to break twice here to take half. 7-6 Tufts. Ian Campbell pulling here for Oregon. Vincenzo Vitello watches the pull out of bounds as Eric Shaw goes to pick it up and take it in at the brick. Shaw tapping the disc in with Topher Davis on the mark, forcing forehand. Looking big here, out of the side stack to Gene Buonacorsi. Swinging around to Will Wong. Looking for the break throw. Back to Shaw. Nice high forehand by Shaw to Vincenzo Vitello. Foul on the mark here. No contest. Penner is on the mark here, forcing forehand. Nice IO break. Oh, a little behind Robbie Perkins high. And that's a little too hard for him to reel in. Perkins high with the drop. Oregon looking to break here. Freechild picking up. Pick called here. Freechild swings it out to Ian Campbell. Oregon in a host stack here. Their typical look. D-line offense having a little more trouble here than they did the last time they broke. Freechild swinging out to the sideline. Penner, nice cut. Nice break off the sideline to Penner. And Penner looking deep for Topher Davis. And that's a break for Oregon. 7-7, back on serve. Penner finding Davis after the Perkins high drop. Oregon breaks again, back on serve. The score is 7-7. Oregon pulling, looking to take half with a break, while Tufts will hope to hold and go in on serve. 7-7. Tufts called a timeout after that last break by Oregon. Ian Campbell with the pull. Tufts looking to hold to take half on serve. Out to Shaw. Shaw swings it out to Gene Buonacorsi. Carter Fallon in isolation. Swinging around back to Shaw, to Will Wong on the sideline. Oregon just in a straight force forehand here, playing man defense. Buonacorsi with the disc, marked by Camden Allison Hall. Swinging out to Will Wong. Tyler Chan open there on the break side, but Wong decides not to hit him. Swing now out to Carter Fallon. Fallon out to Will Wong, who reels it in. Big swing around to Dan Pavitt. Back to Eric Shaw. To Gene Buonacorsi. The main cutters driving this for Tufts here are Tyler Chan and Carter Fallon, both sophomores. The handlers, Vincenzo Vitello, Eric Shaw, Will Wong. Moving it around. And a point block by Ian Campbell on Vincenzo Vitello. Campbell goes deep. Freechild holsters the huck. Hits the under. Freechild looping it around to Honn. Oh, that was a sure goal if he connected there. Freechild, hands on his head, really, really regretting missing that huck right there. But Oregon's D-line had been clamping down, really stifling the Tufts O. Tufts gets a second chance here. And Oregon will really be ruining the fact that they missed converting after Campbell's point block. Honn on the mark on Shaw. Topher Davis laying out on a throw to Will Wong. Interesting they're having Honn guard Shaw. Shaw is the main handler. Honn much bigger than him, but I don't know if he's quicker. Vincenzo Vitello with the disc, marked by Campbell. And a drop by Carter Fallon. That throw was low. Campbell now running to the disc to pick it up. But Freechild gets it. Freechild swinging around to Topher Davis. Back out to Freechild. Looping around down the sideline to Topher Davis. Out of bounds, rules the observer. The sideline is protesting. Davis drops the disc. Observers have the active call on this, but the sidelines are very, very unhappy about that call. Will Wong to pick up. Freechild is guarding Carter Fallon here, who's been the primary cutter for Tufts O-line. Swing out to Shaw. Shaw ripping it down the break side to Tyler Chan, who catches it as Penner comes in. Chan with the disc. Penner on the mark. Chan swings it out to Will Wong. Will Wong into Gene Buonacorsi, who's been kind of filtering. Sometimes cutter, sometimes handler, being that kind of last option for the offense. And Will Wong with the big inside-out backhand huck to Buonacorsi. Freechild's in there on D. Everyone kind of missed that. Freechild unable to make a play on the disc. Fallon went way early, but it went over him. I think he was thinking he had to go up way early to get it over Freechild, but Freechild was kind of boxed in there. Couldn't even get up. Oregon calls timeout. Both teams have used 2 timeouts this half now. Freechild trying to work 70 with the Oregon D-line offense here to break for half. Oregon comes out of the timeout, set up in a side stack, reminiscent of Rhino's offense here. Tyler Chan is poaching strong in the middle of the field on Penner. Penner and Honn are the cutters isolated here. Freechild up to Honn for the 15-yard gain. Shaw on the mark. Camden Allison Hall with the disc. Nice scoober upfield here. Back around to Penner. You'd think Oregon would go to Honn here with a mismatch with Shaw on him. Shaw is picked back at the stack. If I were Oregon right now, I'd be really trying to get Honn in isolation here and have Freechild put it to him over Shaw. Penner and Freechild working the disc. Going to Honn upfield. Honn back to Freechild. Honn content to settle back here in a handler role right now. Freechild looping it around to Honn. Jamming it in there on the open side. And Freechild hitting Camden Allison Hall for the break to take half. Nice smooth O out of that timeout. Really being patient and working it. No more hammers for Oregon. Oregon breaks there, takes half 8-7, up one break, and will receive to start the second half. Coming out of halftime now, Oregon leads 8-7. The second half of the game, I'll be joined by Jeremy Ziskind with commentary. So in this first half, one of the striking things is pretty much every O-line turn was punished with a break. Oregon got broken 3 times off of one just drop in the middle of the field and 2 hammer turnovers in the end zone, all leading to Tufts breaks. And then whenever Tufts O-line has turned it, Oregon's marched it down the field for a break. Definitely the D-line offenses have outshone the O-line defenses here in this first half. Jeremy, is there anything you're looking forward to seeing in the second half?
The first half was a remarkably clean game, very few turnovers. And really, Oregon, to their credit, has managed to limit some of the more cheeky throws and sort of dangerous over the tops that have plagued them in the past. The 2 times that they did attempt hammers, they did end up getting broken. But to their credit, towards the end of the first half, they tightened things up. There was a bit of a controversial call in the end zone. Dylan Freechild with an outside-in backhand that looked like the receiver towed it in right near the goal line. The observers called him out, but to his credit, managed to get the D back on the other end and then punch it in for the score. So we're looking for a very exciting second half, and these teams are very well evenly matched. But we have a real difference in style here. Oregon choosing to go in their host stack, and Tufts looking to maintain a vertical stack. We're going to see some tough defense, and it should be a close game to the very end.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 hammer turnovers. Those were both early on in the game, and Dylan Freechild calling timeout and really telling his team, we have to stop giving them the disc. Right, we're wide open, underneath and deep. Let's just take the shots when they're there and not force anything. Tufts pulling now. Out to Freechild. Nice throw out to space for Honn.
And Aaron Honn just makes it look easy every time he gets the disc.
To Charlie Wilson-Moses with Adolph on the mark. Nice forehand force here from Tufts. Adler marking Honn. Camden Allison Hall. Real nice patience from Oregon here. Nice break throw from Allison Hall. Then the outside in flick to Topher Davis. Davis has been really blowing up this game, scoring a lot of goals, nearly getting a layout D. That's 9-7. Oregon with the hold, up 2 now.
And Ryan, that's exactly what you want out of halftime. Just a smooth, easy point. No throw was really contested at all. The cuts were all open. Oregon had some really nice spacing on that point, and just a simple outside-in forehand to the middle of the end zone for the score.
Yeah, that's exactly what Freechild was talking about when he wanted his team to calm down and hit the open guys. They've got mismatches athletically. They just need to hit the open people when they're there, and it's easy for them on the O side. Jeremy, have you been kind of surprised with how well Tufts has played in this game? Were you expecting them to be challenging for a spot in the finals here at Stanford Invite, coming in as a 3 seed in their pool?
I think Tufts is a little bit underrated here at this tournament. at this tournament, last year they made it to the quarterfinals of nationals, and they nearly knocked off Wisconsin, who ended up being the runner-up in that tournament. And I think they have been flying a little bit below the radar this season, and especially at this tournament. Flying in from the East Coast, maybe not getting all the credit they deserve, but they have a very strong team, a lot of really competent upperclassmen, and they're performing, I think, exactly how they expected this weekend.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note that Tufts is without Ironside player Adrian Banerjee, as Borna Corsi throws a big hug to Tyler Chan. Pick was called. Just muted celebration. They know there's a pick. Sending it back.
That was a beautiful throw. It's unfortunate that had to be called back.
Yeah, so Tufts without Ironside player Adrian Banerjee today. They graduated Ironside players Jack Hatchett and Alex Cooper last year. So I think people were expecting them to drop off, but after a disappointing Queen City, they're up here in the semifinals of Stanford Invite. Buonacorsi out to Chan, up to Thalen. Chan and Thalen have really been working, sophomore cutters. Oh, and
wow.
A huge grab by Dan Pavitt in between two Oregon defenders.
Wow, I did not see that one coming. It looked like the Oregon defender had a read on it the entire way and had position both underneath and over the top, and somehow it ends up in the Tufts receiver's hands.
Yeah, Pavitt there really bailing out Thalen. I think that's not really a throw the Tufts coaches want to see go up there. But, I mean, with a receiver like Pavitt on the end of that, sometimes you can make up for those little mistakes from the handlers.
You know, and as far as Hatchett and Banerjee graduating, it's true that those are huge losses for Tufts. But at the same time, you really cannot underestimate what experience at Nationals does for your program. Getting that far and coming so close against Wisconsin in the quarterfinals does a lot for the confidence of your program, and it really makes the underclassmen feel like they have what it takes to succeed year in and year out, and they've really brought that confidence into this year. Plus, with their coach having years and years of club experience, knowing what it takes to get to the big one and win it, Tufts is not a program that's going to go lightly.
Robbie Perkins high with the pull. Tufts actually made pre-quarters 2011, quarters in 2012, and now they're in semifinals of Stanford Invite. Maybe also a dark horse pick for semifinals at Nationals this year. Oregon swinging the disc. Tufts actually, this is the first time Tufts has thrown a junk defense here. And Oregon is being patient, throwing big cross-field swings, but not really advancing the disc up the field yet.
Yeah, it looks like Tufts is forcing Oregon to go side to side, throwing big looping swings across the field. Wind really not too much of a factor here, but it looks like Tufts is just trying to mix up their defense here, not letting Oregon get comfortable.
There's a foul call on the mark there. Fogliola thought he got a point block on Charlie Wilson-Moses. Observer rules contested foul. Couldn't quite see what was going on there from his perspective. So Oregon maintains possession here.
Tufts really biting hard on those swings. The handler tightening up with every throw. Hammer goes up. And Aaron Honn with a gorgeous grab manages to toe it in on the sideline.
And finishing it with the forehand down the line. That was almost a third hammer turnover, though, for Oregon. Honn really had to get up and get that one, making a great play, not only making the catch over the quickly on-rushing defender, but also having the presence of mind to get his feet down inbounds there and toe the line.
You know, Ryan, I don't want to take anything away from the Oregon handlers, but, on that point, we start to see a little bit of the old Oregon creep in with these over-the-top throws. It may get it done here on day 2 of the Stanford Invite, but as defenses start to tighten up, and especially at Nationals when the wind starts to become a lot more of a factor, at least it has been in the last several years, those throws are going to become more and more difficult. And if that becomes a regular part of your arsenal, I think Oregon's going to really find it difficult to complete those at Nationals.
Although, on the other hand, if the wind picks up and they can still complete those throws, that's a huge advantage to teams like Oregon if they get junk defenses thrown against them. Right? If you can hit the open man with over the tops, it really, really forces defenses to play you differently. Tufts now out in a host stack for what looks like the first time this game. Buonacorsi back to Shaw. Shaw back to Buonacorsi. Tufts offense kind of stagnating here. They're back into a vertical stack. And another point block here. Buonacorsi turning it over as Oregon looks to break. Freechild walking to the disc.
Not a lot of options for Tufts downfield there. Their handlers look like they got a bit gummed up, and a less than confident throw gets hand blocked.
Yeah, they did not look particularly comfortable in that host stack, even clumping in the middle of the field and then going back into a vertical stack at about half field. Topher Davis hits Freechild up the line on the open side. Back to Davis. And the big forehand around into the end zone for the break. That is 11-8 Oregon with another break here.
And that was just surgical. I mean, you can tell that Topher Davis and Dylan Freechild know each other very well. Nothing fancy about that play, just simple dump and swing across the field. Hits his receiver on the break side. Oregon gets another break.
The Oregon mantra here is, if your receiver is open, throw them the disc. That's part of why they throw so many over-the-top throws. You throw it into the space where your receiver is, and you move the disc. It works just the same with swings and break throws as it does with over-the-tops. For Oregon, the key, hit the wide-open players, take the easy looks, and they'll be marching it in on offense and on defense.
And let's face it, it's incredibly fan-friendly, too. The spectators on the sidelines are having a ball. Oregon is perhaps the most fun team to watch.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They just look like they're having fun when they're playing Ultimate, which is great to see. Tufts collecting the pull, Vincenzo Vitello here. Shaw covered quickly from that nice hanging pull. And a drop by Robbie Perkins High just outside the end zone. This is a gift for Oregon here if they can convert.
Just a really unfortunate turn of events for Tufts to turn it right on your goal line.
Yeah, Campbell picks up down the line.
Oh, and Tufts very fortunate to get it back there. Just a looping outside in forehand, doesn't quite hit its mark.
Carter Thalen, IO break to Vincenzo Vitello. Back out to Perkins High on the sideline. That was a gift from Tufts to Oregon, but Oregon just gave it right back. Vitello up to Chan on the sideline. Chan with a big huck to Thalen. The two sophomores can't connect.
If he had waited just maybe a half second longer, his receiver would have been easily able to track that down. If he would have been able to sort of calm the nerves, set himself up, and throw just a bit flatter of a backhand, I think that would have been an easy score.
Yeah, I think part of his mentality there is, I caught it on the break side, my mark is coming over, I got to get this huck out. Who knows, if he waits a second, maybe the mark is over and doesn't have the look anymore. Campbell picks up here, looking for Penner. Marked by Chan. Up to Fruchter in the middle of the field. Looking back for Campbell, can't hit it. And a punt. Gene Buonacorsi, the one Tufts defender between two Oregon players on offense, gets the D. Buonacorsi and Wong working it. Buonacorsi back to Shaw.
Wow,
nice
hellacious
grab.
bid there.
Nice grab by Shaw. Out to Robbie Perkins High on the sideline, pass with a bidding Fruchter. And Perkins High sending it down the line to Gene Buonacorsi. Not in. And they finally convert across the field to Chan. That's a hold for Tufts. Oregon leads 11-9. Oregon leads 11-9 and just got TMF'd on the sideline for sideline encroachment. They now have, I believe, 2 TMFs. And Perkins High with the pull for Tufts.
Oregon coming out in a side stack.
Centering to Trevor Smith. Honn cutting through the zone. Nice break around to Honn. It's like a 1-3-3 here, or similar from Tufts. Freechild out on the sideline.
Ooh, and a narrow miss by the Tufts defender.
Nice throw by Freechild, threading it through. Trevor Smith, big backhand around to Freechild.
Looks like, definitely looks like a 3-man cup here. Forcing back towards the middle of the field. But kind of a loose, sagging cup. leaving some room in the center for the popper to have some room.
Oregon hasn't advanced this vertically very much at this point. They've swung it back and forth a lot, but they haven't gotten that killer strike up behind that first layer of defenders. This might be it, as Honn goes through to Charlie Wilson-Moses.
Just a visionary throw from Aaron Honn. His ability to just flick the disc out there and throw it that far is pretty amazing.
And now they're going. They're running past the zone. They got it through to the second layer. Back where the Oregon players outnumber the Tufts defenders. Travel called here. Freechild unhappy.
It's like Aaron Honn is saying he just caught the disc and continued his momentum, throwing it for the goal. Looks like it is going to come back to Aaron Honn.
Yeah, Oregon now just needs to run simple end zone offense. No need to be fancy here. They're still in the zone though with Tufts.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting choice here, so close to the goal line. Tufts choosing not to switch to man defense. Seems to be working so far. It almost seems like Tufts is baiting Oregon into throwing something over the top.
Oregon, though, not rising to it. They're throwing these loopy swings, but they're not going directly over the top. Wilson-Moses now, big backhand around looking for Camden Allison Hall, but Freechild reels it in the corner. A big spike, and the O-line hold here, 12-9 Oregon. It's do or die now for Tufts, down 9-12. They need to convert this O point here and then get on some kind of D-line run in order to get back in this game.
And Oregon is really putting it in the hands of their stars here. Aaron Honn and Dylan Freechild staying on the field for this point, even up 3. Hoping to put the game out of reach at this point. Of course, Dylan Freechild and Aaron Honn, teammates in high school. South Eugene have played together for a number of years. Oregon has 2 players that were also selected for the Next Gen Tour, Dylan Freechild and Camden Allison Hall, playing together last year.
While we're talking about Eugene high school players, Carter Fallon of Tufts, also on that team with Honn, number 5 on Tufts here. Going deep now for Buonacorsi, up to Fallon with Freechild in coverage. Fallon scoring deep on Freechild there for the Tufts O-line hold. Great throw from Buonacorsi. Way to go up confidently by Fallon. It's 12-10 Oregon. Tufts now has to get their D-line out there getting breaks.
Freechild just going up a bit too early, looking like he was baiting his receiver into also going up a bit too early, but the receiver did not take the bait and brought it down fairly easily.
Now Tufts with Robbie Perkins high pulling. Down 10-12. They need some breaks here to give themselves a chance at getting back into the finals. Swinging out to Campbell, up to Topher Davis, still in this zone. Swinging wide to Trevor Smith. Big crossfield throw. Oh, Fallon maybe had a play on that, but didn't bid. Recovered to play to his wing position.
That's 2 swings across the length, across the width of the field, nearly D'd, and almost a 3rd time D'ing the swing. It looks like Tufts is getting really close to these swings, but they're just not able to pull it down.
Oregon really confident throwing these big 40-yard swings. And now the shot down the line to Charlie Wilson-Moses is a goal. That's 13-10 for Oregon. Looking like Oregon is getting one step closer to the finals and potentially a rematch against Carleton, who beat them yesterday, depending on the Carleton-Pitt score in the other semifinal.
And for Tufts, this is really do or die time. You absolutely have to punch this in on offense, and you need that defensive break. This game is nearly over. Tufts has got to dig deep here and figure out what to do.
Freechild with the deep pull. Hagen out to collect. Swinging up to Shaw. Nice around to Buonacorsi. Corsi back to Shaw. Nice high forehand to Chan. Up to Buonacorsi. Nice around break. Up to Pavitt. Pavitt hits Thalen in the middle of the field.
Tufts easily rolling down the field right now.
Oh! Foul called here.
Bit casual of a throw there, but fights through the mark, calls a foul, gets it back.
Yeah, that's a great layout D, though, by the Oregon defender. Pouncing on that slight missed throw. Unfortunately, Freechild fouling on the mark gives it back to Tufts. Thalen swings out to Shaw. Out to Will Wong. Break side is Pavitt. Hitting him just outside the end zone. Oh, and the nice inside out. Nice inside out backhand from Pavitt, the lefty.
Gorgeous throw, like a bit of an air bounce.
Yeah, really just getting around the defender. Beautiful throw. Nice patient offense by Tufts. That's 11-13. They have to get a break. One of these next 2 points. Preferably now and give themselves some breathing room. Tufts now with Perkins high to pull. Stacking their D-line with some of their O-line players like Shaw and Tyler Chan. Oregon starting in a host stack. Smith with the disc.
It looks like Tufts is coming out in man.
Thalen marking Freechild here. Pulling over Thalen, Chan, and Shaw from the O-line to this D point. Thalen marking Freechild again. Out to Campbell on the sideline. Campbell the lefty, upfield to Wilson Moses. Wilson Moses ripping it to Honn.
This might be a chance for Tufts.
Oh, and Honn just really undercuts that throw, calling foul. But I imagine the observer will overturn that.
And that's exactly what Tufts wanted right there. A floaty backhand to the end zone. Of course, you like the matchup, Aaron Honn against almost anybody, but the throw floats just enough to where they both misread it.
Yeah, Adler was playing Honn pretty well there, but with a better throw, that's a sure goal for Oregon. Observer rules no foul. Nice D by Adler. Still, though, I don't know where Honn was going on that. Maybe he expected Adler would just get up and get it, but he really went from a good position to running under the disc in a bad position and letting it go over his head.
That's exactly what Tufts wanted.
Now, with a chance to break with some of their O-line players here now. Chan with the disc.
Oregon defenders bracketing the cutters.
Yep, Camden, Allison Hall, and Dylan Freechild. Honn now marking Adler. Yeah, that was nice bracketing by Allison Hall and Freechild in the side of the vertical stack, really shutting that down.
It's very, very intelligent defense. Why put your defender on an island when you can play team defense?
Playing 2-on-2 versus playing 1-on-1 always helps the defense. Carter Thalen now. Tufts stuck on the fore side here. About 30 yards to the end zone.
Keep working, Rob. Let's grind, Tufts. Go, Tufts.
Tufts players on the sideline, ready to explode if they score this defensive point.
Thalen swinging back out to Shaw. Foglioli, hammer!
Oh, dangerous throw.
And
Camden Allison Hall just reels it in. Just eats it up.
That's a panicked high stall throw. Up to Honn, still in the host stack. To Charlie Wilson Moses. finding Campbell on the in-cut. Campbell, the lefty, hitting Freechild up line. Freechild throwing it down the line. Oregon scoring that point to go up 14-11.
And credit to Oregon's defense for the coverage sack. Really nothing going on downfield, forcing Tufts to put up a risky hammer to the corner. Camden Allison Hall eats it up. Oregon on the doorstep, waiting to make it to finals.
Tufts receiving here, down 14-11 with a must-score point to stay in this game and get their D-line back on the field. Really, though, the body language is kind of striking. Tufts players hunched over, Oregon players amped up, ready to go on D here. Vincenzo Vitello up to Shaw. Shaw to Buonacorsi. Oregon in junk for only the second time this game. Big blade from Shaw up to Thalen. Oregon back into man now. Thalen, IO flick to Shaw. Shaw finding Chan. And Chan finds Will Wong on the doorstep of the end zone. And Wong finishes it. Throwing the goal. Tufts holding. 14-12. And now Oregon trying to hold on offense to win the game and go to finals.
And easy does it right there. Oregon almost looking content to let Tufts score that goal so they can put in their superstars on offense and close this game out.
Oregon receiving. Campbell picking up the pull. Setting it up to Smith, to Freechild, to Wilson Moses. Back to Freechild. Honn. This Hostak is just carving through the Tufts defenders. And Camden Allison Hall with a wide open drop.
Wow, that is really unexpected and just the opening Tufts needs to make this game interesting.
Tufts got their first break off a drop. Can they get another one here in the second half? And a hammer from Shaw to Thalen. Thalen finding Chan. Thalen to Fogliola. Up to Shaw, who just gets a fingertips on that grab.
Tufts on the doorstep
Nice
here, 5 yards away.
And Adler in the end zone with the break, 14-13. Wow. They just need one more break to force overtime here and send this into a game to 16. Perkins high with the pull for Tufts, out of bounds. This has been a really clean game so far, which is kind of why it's so shocking to see a drop like Camden Allison Hall's there on that previous point. The offense has been moving well, and then every forced huck or turnover has been turned into a break by the team on defense.
And Oregon blinks for just a second, allowing Tufts to score. I don't expect that to rattle them, though.
Ian Campbell,
very competent team.
To Camden Allison Hall.
Certainly not Camden Allison Hall's fault on that one. Not the best throw. Hall was covered pretty much the entire way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the option there for Campbell is a nice flat throw down the sideline into space so Camden Allison Hall can run onto it. Not the loopy, floaty one with the defender right on his back. And Tufts calls a timeout here, looking to break and force overtime. And Tufts comes out of their timeout in a vertical stack, 6 players, no dumps, an Ironside and Tufts staple there. Oh, and a drop by Elias Cahan there. Oregon, again, with a chance to end the game here.
Both teams looking very nervous here in the closing moments. We've seen 2 uncharacteristic drops.
Looks like Freechild is dialing in on Honn here. If the 2 of them can work it amongst themselves to score a goal, I think they'll be very happy. Upline to Honn.
And Freechild has got to demand the disc here. He's just hanging out in the dump. He's got to use his speed and his experience to punch this in for
Here
Oregon.
Here he goes, going up line. Swing out to Topher Davis. Freechild is drifting to the back of the stack. Gabe Fruchter with the disc. Topher Davis. Goal signaled. That's it. Gabe Fruchter hits Topher Davis, who jumps into the end zone, towing the line. Oregon's heading to finals at 2 o'clock today. Narrowly holding off Tufts there in a much, much tighter game than I think anyone expected.
Just a nice gut check for Oregon there, nearly giving away right at the end going into overtime, but had the veteran presence and the calm to punch it in for the score. Oregon's going back to finals where they hope to repeat as 2013 Stanford Invite champions.
And let's not forget that Tufts led this game 7-5 in the first half. This was not all a last-second comeback here. Tufts was battling the entire game. And while they let it get out of hand a little bit at the beginning of the second half, they definitely fought back. I don't think Tufts should be disappointed here, especially playing without Banerjee, who's been in flats. I think this is a big, big game for Tufts, and they're definitely a team to watch in the Northeast.
And frankly, it's still early in the season. We expect both of these teams to improve tremendously throughout the year, and frankly, both of these teams are going to be at nationals, so we may end up getting to see a rematch.
That would be fun. I think if this is a quarterfinal game where Tufts is hoping to break into semis for the first time, I think they like their matchup, especially after a game like this.
I do. You know, Tufts looked very confident today. They clearly have a lot of veteran leadership, and their coach has prepared them well for these challenges. It was unfortunate. They had a last-second drop there on the last point that would have tied the game up, brought the game into overtime, and from there, who knows? Credit goes to Oregon to pull it out there after some unfortunate turnovers. But really, two very evenly matched teams. The game could have gone either way.
Yeah. Who's your player of the game from this semifinal right here?
I have to say that Aaron Honn really showed his mettle. He was open all day. He was getting the disc with yards of separation on every play, and he looked calm, and he looked like a different breed athletically compared to everyone else. I would say Aaron Honn, the sophomore, definitely my player of the game.
I think one of those things you get as these players mature and they get used to being backed all the time is developing as a reset and a thrower, and Honn definitely stepped up and did that. That's what Bo did with Colorado and Revolver, and it's what players like Misha Freysauter in Central Florida need to learn how to do. I think Honn, just a sophomore, is doing it excellently so far. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Ryan Thompson with Jeremy Ziskind, and we're looking forward to another great final at the Stanford Invite this year.
I'm Jeremy Ziskind here with player of the game, Aaron Honn. Aaron, you were down 7-5, and you had some tough moments there at the end with a few unfortunate turnovers. How were you able to pull this game out?
I think we just won it with our legs. We played smart down the stretch, and when we did not play smart, we made turnovers. We got it back on defense, and our team identity this year is play hard defense and get it back. So we did that. We were able to close and finish hard.
Now, you won this tournament last year, and you're headed back to the finals this year. What do you expect in the finals, and what was your goal coming into this tournament?
Our goal primarily was to get better. We're looking forward to just playing together as a team after a lot of practice. But we also obviously wanted to win games, and so far we've felt pretty good about how we've done, and we're looking forward to – I don't know who we have in the finals, but we're looking forward to going out and trying to focus on us, and whoever we play, we're going to try to play good ultimate and get better from it, and hopefully win as well.
All right, thanks a lot, Aaron.